Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Independence Day greetings to all those celebrating it in India and around the world. All right, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Hoisting the tricolour from the Red Fort in New Delhi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi stresses on self-reliance to make India a developed nation by 2047, the centenary of the country's independence. Prime Minister Modi announces Sudarshan Chakra mission, a made-in-India defence shield to protect the country. Also unveils a youth employment scheme worth nearly $12 billion. The Prime Minister announces next-generation GST reforms by the festival of Diwali, reforms to make daily use items affordable. And the world greets India on its 79th Independence Day. Leaders of Russia, the US, France, Singapore, Australia, Ukraine, South Korea, the UAE, Bangladesh, Maldives, Sri Lanka and Nepal extend their wishes on the occasion. Prime Minister Modi hoisted the tricolour at the historic Red Fort in New Delhi as the nation celebrates its 79th Independence Day. Flying Officer Rashika Sharma assisted the Prime Minister in hoisting the flag, after which flower petals were showered from two Indian Air Force helicopters, one carrying the national flag and the other an Operation Sindoor flag. Wing Commanders Vinay Punia and Aditya Jaiswal piloted the aircraft. The Prime Minister was received at the Red Fort by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Minister of State for Defence Sanjay Seth and the chiefs of the three services. The Prime Minister was received a ceremonial guard of honour by the National Flag Guard, the Indian Air Force, Army, Navy and the Delhi Police, totalling up to 128 people. Wing Commander Arun Nagar led the Inter-Services Guard of Honour. A total of 2,500 cadets from the Army, Navy and Air Force, along with the My Bharat volunteers, were seated on Gyan Path opposite the ramparts of the Red Fort, forming a logo of New India. The Prime Minister delivered a nearly 2-hour-long speech, his 12th consecutive address on Independence Day from the Red Fort. Marking the 79th Independence Day, the Prime Minister touched upon many subjects throughout his speech, with key areas being Operation Sindoor, India's response to the Pahalgam terror attack, a push for becoming more self-reliant, and India's vision of becoming a developed nation by 2047 when it completes 100 years of its independence. A major highlight was the announcement of a nearly $12 billion youth employment scheme aimed at creating jobs, formalizing the workforce and empowering young Indians. DD India's Muhammad Absarul Hassan gets us more.
On the occasion of India's 79th Independence Day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi used his 12th address from the Red Fort to chart a bold roadmap for the nation's future. His speech wasn't just ceremonial, it was a declaration of intent. While PM called for leveraging India's manufacturing capabilities in sectors including semiconductor production to nuclear energy expansion, from jet engine making to cater to global needs, the highlight of this announcement was a 100 billion rupees youth employment scheme. PM Modi made it clear, Bharat will shape its own destiny and aims to become a developed nation by 2047.
आज 15 अगस्त है। आज 15 अगस्त के ही दिन मेरे देश के युवाओं के लिए 1,00,000 करोड़ रुपए की योजना हम चालू कर रहे हैं, लागू कर रहे हैं। आज से प्रधानमंत्री विकसित भारत रोजगार योजना आज ही 15 अगस्त को लागू हो रही है। ये आपके लिए बहुत खुशखबरी है।
A massive 100 billion rupees employment initiative aimed at empowering India's youth. Under this scheme, first-time employees will receive up to 15,000 rupees, helping bridge the journey from Swatantra Bharat to Samriddha Bharat. 15,000 rupees incentive to be paid in 2 installments after 6 and 12 months of employment. Applicable for employees with salaries up to 1 lakh rupees per month. Completion of a financial literacy program is mandatory for the second installment. A portion of the benefit will be parked in savings instrument to encourage long-term financial discipline. 3,000 rupees per month incentive per new employee for 2 years provided the job is sustained for at least 6 months. For the manufacturing sector, incentives will continue into the 3rd and 4th years. The ambitious scheme is expected to create 2.6 crore new jobs, with all payments routed via direct benefit transfer through the Aadhaar bridge payment system. Beyond job creation, the initiative aims at formalizing the workforce, bringing crores of young Indians under the umbrella of social security. This landmark employment push marks a decisive step toward inclusive growth and workforce formalization by empowering youth, incentivizing industries, and embedding financial discipline. The government signals its commitment to a self-reliant, future-ready India. As Bharat marches toward 2047, this initiative could well be a cornerstone of its development journey. Mohammad Afsarul Hassan for DD India.
Prime Minister Modi announced that GST reforms will be unveiled on Diwali, reducing taxes on essential goods and providing relief to MSMEs, local vendors and consumers.
इस दिवाली में आपकी डबल दिवाली का काम मैं करने वाला। इस दिवाली में आपको एक बहुत बड़ा तोहफा देशवासियों को मिलने वाला है। पिछले 8 साल से हमने जीएसटी का बहुत बड़ा रिफॉर्म किया। पूरे देश में टैक्स के बर्डन को कम किया, टैक्स की व्यवस्थाओं को सरल किया और 8 साल के बाद समय की मांग है कि हम एक बार उसको रिव्यू करें। हमने एक हाई पावर कमेटी को बिठा करके रिव्यू शुरू किया, राज्यों से भी विचार विमर्श किया और मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों, हम नेक्स्ट जनरेशन जीएसटी रिफॉर्म्स लेकर के आ रहे हैं। ये दिवाली के अंदर आपके लिए तोहफा बन जाएंगे। सामान्य मानवीय की जरूरतों के टैक्स भारी मात्रा में कम कर दिए जाएंगे। बहुत बड़ी सुविधा बढ़ेगी। हमारे एमएसएमई, हमारे लघु उद्यमी, इनको बहुत बड़ा लाभ मिलेगा। रोजमर्रा की चीजें बहुत सस्ती हो जाएगी।
The Prime Minister also unveiled an ambitious national security initiative called the Mission Doordarshan Chakra, aimed at protecting India's critical establishments over the next decade through indigenous technological development. The initiative is expected to encompass a multi-layered security framework integrating advanced surveillance, cyber protection and physical infrastructure safeguards tailored to India's evolving threat landscape.
2035 तक राष्ट्र के सभी महत्वपूर्ण स्थलों, जिनमें सामरिक के साथ साथ सिविलियन क्षेत्र भी शामिल है, जैसे अस्पताल हो, रेलवे हो, जो भी आस्था के केंद्र हो, उन्हें टेक्नोलॉजी के नए प्लेटफॉर्म द्वारा पूरी तरह सुरक्षा का कवच दिया जाएगा। ये सुरक्षा का कवच लगातार विस्तार होता जाए, देश का हर नागरिक सुरक्षित महसूस करे। किसी भी प्रकार की टेक्नोलॉजी हम पर वार करने आ जाए, हमारी टेक्नोलॉजी उससे बेहतर सिद्ध हो। और इसलिए आने वाले 10 साल 2035 तक मैं ये राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा कवच का विस्तार करना चाहता हूं, मजबूती देना चाहता हूं, आधुनिक बनाना चाहता हूं। और इसलिए भगवान श्री कृष्ण से प्रेरणा पाकर के हमने श्री कृष्ण का जो सुदर्शन चक्र था, उस सुदर्शन चक्र की राह को चुना है।
Recalling how attempts to set up semiconductor factories 50 or 60 years ago were killed at birth while other nations prospered, the Prime Minister announced that India is now on mission mode. By the end of this year, the nation will roll out its first Made in India chip.
21वीं सदी टेक्नोलॉजी ड्रिवन सेंचुरी है। हम जब टेक्नोलॉजी के अलग अलग आयामों की बात करते हैं, तो मैं आपका ध्यान आकर्षित करता हूं सेमीकंडक्टर्स पे। उदाहरण के तौर पे बताता हूं, 50-60 साल पहले सेमीकंडक्टर को लेकर के फाइलें शुरू हुई। 50-60 साल पहले फैक्ट्री का विचार चालू हुआ। आप मेरे नौजवानों जानकर के हैरान हो जाएंगे, आज सेमीकंडक्टर जो पूरी दुनिया की एक ताकत बन गया है, 50-60 साल पहले वो विचार, वो फाइलें अटक गई, लटक गई, अटक गई। सेमीकंडक्टर के विचार की ही भ्रूण हत्या हो गई। 50-60 साल गवा दी। हमारे बाद कई देश सेमीकंडक्टर में आज महारत हासिल करके दुनिया में अपनी ताकत को प्रस्थापित कर।
Well, the Prime Minister made a significant announcement pertaining to tax reforms ahead of the festive season of Diwali. The proposal has already been sent for changes in the GST system. GST rates are expected to be reduced on most everyday items, which would lead to a decrease in their prices. The GST will be reduced on items related to women, students and farmers too. The government is considering a removal of the existing 28% and 12% rates. Still to come on DD India Live. India marks 56 years of space exploration on ISRO's Foundation Day. And all eyes on the US state of Alaska as President Trump leaves Washington, D.C. for a much anticipated summit with Russia's President Putin. Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I am Ramesh Ramachandran. President Murmu paid tributes to brave hearts at New Delhi's National War Memorial on Independence Day, honoring those who made the supreme sacrifice during armed conflicts in independent India. The President was accompanied by Chief of Defence Staff Anil Chauhan, Chief of Air Staff Amarpreet Singh, Chief of Army Staff General Upendra Dwivedi and Chief of the Naval Staff Admiral Dinesh Tripathi, with all 5 of them marching to the memorial while being drenched in heavy rain. A wreath was carried by 2 women Air Force officers. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Minister of State for Defence Sanjay Seth were present on the occasion. On the occasion of India's 79th Independence Day, ministers hoisted the national flag at their residence. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla hoisted the national flag at his residence in New Delhi. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh hoisted the national flag at his residence in the capital. Minister Manohar Lal Khattar hoisted the national flag at his official residence. Another minister, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, hoisted the national flag at his New Delhi residence and wished compatriots a happy Independence Day. On this very day, India is also celebrating a stellar milestone in its journey to the stars. On 15th August 1969, the Indian Space Research Organization was born. Founded by visionary scientist Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, ISRO has transformed India into a global space powerhouse. DD India's Akshay Dongre reports.
Born on the same day as India's freedom, ISRO embodies the spirit of self-reliance and innovation. Under scientist Vikram Sarabhai's guidance, it started humbly in a church building, focusing on using space tech for national development. From launching India's first satellite Aryabhat in the year 1975 to the cost-effective Mars Orbiter mission in the year 2014, ISRO has achieved feats that stun the world. In the year 1975, Aryabhat, India's first satellite, was launched into orbit. In the year 1980, SLV-3 successfully placed Rohini RS-1, marking India's indigenous launch capability. In 2008, Chandrayaan-1 confirmed water on the moon with its Moon Impact Probe. In 2013, Mangalyaan made India first to succeed in maiden Mars mission. In 2017, PSLV C-37 set world record by launching 104 satellites in one mission. And in 2019, Chandrayaan-2 orbiter delivered high-resolution lunar data despite lander setback. ISRO has signed cooperative agreements with 61 countries and 5 multilateral bodies for space-related activities. Recently, in collaboration with NASA and Axiom Space, ISRO sent Indian astronaut Shubhanshu Shukla to the International Space Station on Axiom Mission 4 in June this year. This marked India's first astronaut mission to the ISS, fulfilling a commitment between Prime Minister Modi and US government, advancing scientific research and strengthening Indo-US space cooperation.
भारत दुनिया के लिए स्पेस की नई संभावनाओं के द्वार खोलने जा रहा है। अब भारत सिर्फ उड़ान नहीं भरेगा, भविष्य में नई उड़ानों के लिए मंच तैयार करेगा।
ये पूरी जर्नी जो है, ये अंतरिक्ष तक आने की और यहाँ ट्रेनिंग की और यहाँ तक पहुँचने की, इसमें बहुत कुछ सीखा है प्रधानमंत्री जी मैंने। लेकिन यहाँ पहुँचने के बाद मुझे पर्सनल एकम्प्लिशमेंट तो एक है ही, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं मुझे ये लगता है कि ये हमारे देश के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा कलेक्टिव अचीवमेंट है। और मैं हर एक बच्चे को जो ये देख रहा है, हर एक युवा को जो ये देख रहा है, एक मैसेज देना चाहता हूँ, और वो ये है कि अगर आप कोशिश करते हैं और आप अपना भविष्य बनाते हैं अच्छे से, तो आपका भविष्य अच्छा बनेगा और हमारे देश का भविष्य अच्छा बनेगा। और केवल एक बात अपने मन में रखिए, दैट स्काई इज नेवर द लिमिट, ना आपके लिए, ना मेरे लिए और ना भारत के लिए।
Meanwhile, ISRO's frugal engineering has launched over 100 satellites, aiding agriculture, disaster management, and communication. With private sector involvement, India's space economy is booming, aiming for a 44 billion US dollar valuation by 2033. Today, ISRO's horizons include the groundbreaking NISAR mission, small satellite launchers like SSLV, reusable launch vehicle development, and ambitious educational outreach initiatives like Yuvika, sparking space enthusiasm among India's youth. As India's 56th year space odyssey continues, ISRO's legacy remains rooted in its founding belief space technology in the service of humankind. Happy Foundation Day, ISRO. May you keep charting new realms, inspiring millions, and expanding the frontiers of our cosmic journey.
As India celebrates its 79th Independence Day, world leaders and foreign missions have extended warm wishes, reaffirming strong ties and shared values with New Delhi. They also hailed India's consistent rise in several sectors, especially technology and economy.
World leaders and foreign missions have extended warm wishes, reaffirming strong ties and shared values with New Delhi. They also hailed India's consistent rise in several sectors, especially technology and economy. President Vladimir Putin congratulated President Draupadi Murmu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, praising India's success in socio-economic and scientific fields. He called India a respected global player and emphasized Russia's privileged strategic partnership. Greeting India, French President Emmanuel Macron recalled Prime Minister Modi's visit to France and expressed commitment to deepen Indo-French partnership through 2047 and beyond. The French embassy also shared warm wishes. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio extended Independence Day greetings to the people of India, noting the strength of India-US relationship. The US Embassy echoed the sentiment, celebrating shared achievements and future cooperation. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu too congratulated Prime Minister Modi and the people of India, extending warm wishes on Independence Day and reaffirming his personal friendship with the Indian leader. Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong wished External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and Indian communities a happy Independence Day, celebrating 5 years of comprehensive strategic partnership and calling the relationship stronger than ever. Sri Lanka and Singapore extended greetings to India, reaffirming close ties and regional cooperation. Maldives' former president Ibrahim Solih called India a steadfast friend and neighbor committed to regional stability. Ukraine's foreign ministry wished India well, emphasizing peace and prosperity. Nepal's foreign minister praised India's democratic values and enduring partnership, while the Korean embassy highlighted cultural camaraderie and growing bilateral exchanges. While the greetings poured in throughout the day, messages from different parts of the globe reflected India's strong diplomatic goodwill and enduring partnerships. Bureau Report, DD India.
Turning now to international updates, a high-stakes meeting is set for Friday local time in the U.S. state of Alaska between U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. President Trump departed for Alaska, where the summit will take place amid heightened anticipation over its outcome. Speaking before his departure, Trump said he would not be intimidated by the Russian leader and reiterated that Ukraine would be central to any discussions about the conflict. President Putin was expected to arrive in Alaska on Friday, marking his first visit to a Western nation since Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022, a war that has claimed tens of thousands of lives. As Russian forces continue to make gains on the battlefield, the Kremlin confirmed that the two leaders plan to meet one-on-one. This has raised concerns among European leaders who fear that Putin could pressure Trump into accepting terms unfavorable to Ukraine. However, Trump assured allies that he would not agree to any settlement without Ukraine's involvement. He added that he hopes to hold a follow-up three-way summit with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, potentially immediately after the meeting with Putin. As India marks its 79th Independence Day, patriotic fervour surged at the Attari-Wagah border, where a special beating retreat ceremony captivated spectators. the daily military ritual between India and Pakistan took on a special significance, showcasing discipline, pride and tradition. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can get the latest news and updates on the DD India mobile app. It's available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code that's now on the screen to download it. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Before we close, once again, Independence Day greetings to all those celebrating it in India and around the world. From all of us here in New Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.